Hi, Omega Chaos here again with another Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile. So this time I am finally showing my update Barian Shark deck. So we got new support from the new Legendary Duelist set, and this makes those cards make this deck a lot better, and it's actually really good now. It has some really good new strategies, and you can make chaos numbers now a lot easier as well. So I guess let's go a stack. So first I use triple Barian Shark. Obviously it's really good because if you only control water monsters, minimum 1, you can spell summon this card from the hand, and then you can add a fish type monster if level 3, 4 or 5. So that's really good for the combos. And it also has another effect that is not, that actually didn't know before, that if you battle with a monster, that turn, it doubles the damage the first time, which definitely can be pretty good in some situations. And also it can be treated as a level 3 or 4 monster if you use it for a number monster as excess material. Definitely all around a really good card. Then I use one Crystal Shark, which is also pretty good. You have this card in your hand or graveyard, you can target one water monster on the field, halve the attack points of that monster, and then you can spell summon this card from the hand or graveyard. But also it's banished when it leaves the field, but probably you're going to use it as XC material, so in that way it probably won't be banished. So definitely really good, and also it can also be treated as a level 3 or 4 monster if you use it for the existence of a number monster. Definitely is really good, but I don't think you need any more than one. You can easily dump it to the graveyard with other cards, and also you definitely don't want to draw multiples of this card. Then I use triple Barian Shark, one of the most important cards in this deck, obviously, because you can target one water monster you control, and then once person from the deck one fish type monster with the same level as that monster but with different name, but it cannot activate effects of that monster that turn, and also you can only summon exist monsters that turn as well. But still a really amazing card for sure. But this card also can be treated as level 5 or 3 monster, but it doesn't have a number restriction. So definitely a really amazing card for it. Then I use one Lantern Shark, because if you normal spell summon this card, you can summon a level 3, 4 or 5 water monster from the hand. And it also can be treated as 3 or 5, and also has that same restriction as Barian Shark, that you can only summon exist monsters for the rest of the turn. When you use one of this card, because it's not good in multiples, and also it can conflict with some cards like Beautiful Princess. Then I use one Right Hand Shark, and not using the left hand one, because it's the only thing you need, because it can summon someone from the graveyard if you control no monsters. And also if you use it as exit material, then that exit monster won't be destroyed by battle. Definitely pretty good. Then I use one Lifeless Leaffish. I think it's pretty good, because obviously if you summon this card, you can send the fish type monster from the deck to the graveyard, and also you can banish this card, then shuffle 3 fish types to your deck to draw one card. Definitely pretty decent as a deck card, I guess. Then I use one Remora for some extended combos of this deck. Definitely really good. You can easily search it up with Barian Shark, so I don't think you need to run multiples of this card. Then I use triple Silent Angler as one of the main extenders in this deck as well. Of course, you probably know what this card does. You control water monster, you can spell summon this card from the hand, but you cannot spell summon monster from the hand for the rest of this turn, so you have to be pretty careful when using this card. Then I use triple Beautiful Princess as my last fish monster. So if this card is no one spell summon, you can banish this card and then spell summon one 4 lower fish type monster from the deck. And you can of course use it once per turn. Definitely really good, of course, to summon like Barian Shark from the deck, for example. Definitely very nice card, but it does have some weaknesses, so if they Ash Blossom this card, you're going to be definitely in trouble, that's for sure. Then the hand traps, so I use some of them. So I use triple Ash Blossom and Jaw Spring. Obviously, stop searching pretty much and summoning from the deck. Very nice. Then I use a hand trap that I don't use often. It's triple Psyframe Gamma. I use, and of course the driver as well. Why not just show this as well? So basically, it's pretty good in this deck, obviously because of Beautiful Princess specifically, because you have to banish the Beautiful Princess as a cost. Your field will be clear. Obviously, when they Ash Blossom your Beautiful Princess, you can activate Gamma, and then negate Ash Blossom, and then pretty much then you can continue doing your combos. But it does have one problem with this card, that if you control like your Gamma and driver, you can't use a Barian Shark, so that's unfortunate, but still I think it's a pretty necessary card to use in this deck, just because of the Beautiful Princess's weakness. Then the spell cards. So use one Rank Up Magic, the 7th one. Still using this card because I think it's really good blowout kind of play, and you have more ways of using this card as well, and searching it out, or putting it to the deck, and also triggering it is easier as well. So definitely still very good because it's instant chaos number. Then you use one of the other new cards, a triple 7th Ascension. Really amazing card for sure, which I can either search out one Barian spell trap card, like a magic quick play spell, or a 7th spell trap from the deck to your hand, or you can put it to the top of the deck, like for example the 7th one. And also it has graveyard effect. You can banish that card if your opponent controls a monster from the next deck, and then send the Rank Up Magic from the hand to the graveyard, and then you can activate that rank up's effect. So basically, if your opponent controls a monster from the next deck, you can use this card to search that 7th one, then activate graveyard effect, sending 7th one to the graveyard, and then using the 7th one's effect to summon out your chaos number. Definitely all around really good, and I think it's going to be a staple in more Barian based decks, I guess. Then I use triple White Mirror because it's a really good extender for this deck that can also search out more cards. So basically you summon the level 4 lower fish from the graveyard, and then you can search for that same monster from the deck. So definitely really amazing card for sure. Then I use one Fool's Burial, always to send my cards to the graveyard, all of my effects activated in the graveyard, for example, Right Hand Shark, Crystal Shark, and even like something like Lifeless Leafish. And then of course I use that one Cold Bar Grave to stop hand traps. Hand traps can be sometimes a weakness for this deck. Obviously this card probably should be banned, but yeah. But right now of course I have to keep using it in all of my decks. Then the trap cards. So there's one 7th alternative that has some pretty good abilities, that you have to control a number exist monster that has a number between 1 or 7 in name, or an exist monster you control with that kind of monster as exist material. So either you can negate the effects of one monster your opponent controls with attack less or equal to the target monster's attack in the end of turn, or you can detach all the materials from that monster, and then you can plus one number from the graveyard. Definitely pretty good card, I think, because of course it's searchable with 7th Ascension. Then you use triple Kozan Match, because of course it's a really good floodgate, stop your opponent in the tracks, and of course there's a certain monster in the X deck that definitely is really good with this card specifically. Then of course as the last trap card in my deck, as the last main deck card, is of course a triple Infinite Permanents. So definitely of course pretty obvious, a staple hand trap. So that was the main deck. Now let's see the X deck. So of course I use one Chaos Xyz Barian Hope. So you're still using it because of course you can overlay over your chaos number, and also of course you can copy number monsters effects as well from the graveyard, and also you can just like for example you have a chaos number on your field, you can just attack with it obviously if Chaos exceeds Nosh Knight, it will be sent to the graveyard at the end of the turn. Instead, you can exceed somebody to this and then go for Zeus after that. So that also is a potential combo you can do. But all around, I think it's pretty good. Then you use one of the new cards, Chaos exceeds Nafil Asylum Chaos Knight, which is really good because you can of course overlay it over your Nafil Asylum Hef Knight, and also this card can allow you pretty much summon your number exceeds monster from deck select by overlaying over it, and that also includes chaos numbers. So basically, if you use Nafil Asylum Hef Knight effect to attach number one of the number monsters to the success material, then you can use this card to overlay over the Nash Knight, and then for this, and then you can use this effect to summon the chaos number, so it will have that specific monster attached as execution material. So definitely, I think it's a really amazing card for sure. So to summon out your chaos numbers, that's over 100 chaos numbers specifically, obviously. So definitely, really good card. Then of course I used that Nafil Asylum Hef Knight or Nash Knight, whatever you want to call it. So basically, cannot destroy a battle while your number monsters on the field, but that's not really too relevant. But main effect is that during the main phase, a quick effect, you can detach 2 materials from this card, except then attach a number exceeds monster from deck select to this card's material with a number between 101 and 107 in its name, and then you can attach one other face of monster as material. So it kind of works the same as Honor Arc, but it's more advanced, I guess. Definitely really amazing card for sure. Then of course you have to use that Chaos number 101, Sanator Dark Knight. Of course in this case it's just Sanator Dark. So basically, obviously can absorb +1 monsters as action material, and also if destroyed while it's as action material, it comes back, and then you can gain your 2800 life points back. But it can't attack for the rest of the turn. But still a really amazing card for sure, especially going second. Then I also use Chaos number 104, Umbral Horror Masquerade. A kind of a new addition to this deck, because you can actually summon it with your Chaos Knight. And of course, when you are not waterlocked, obviously, so you have to be careful with that. But of course, if this card, when this card is +1, you can destroy 1 spell trap card on the field. But also, if you have Masquerade attached to this material, you can, when your opponent activates monster effect, you can detach 1 material, negate the monster effect, then send 1 random card from the opponent's hand to the graveyard, and then halve the life points. So that's really amazing card for sure. You're able to get it up with 7th one or your Chaos Knight. So yeah. Then of course, use the base number as well. Number 101, Sanator Arc. Still pretty good, I think, for this deck. And of course, I use the number 104 Masquerade. I pretty much never summoned this card, but I just use it with number Chaos number 104, and of course I pretty much attach it to Nash Knight, and then go for Chaos Knight, and then use Chaos Knight's effect to summon Chaos number 104. Then I use number 106 Giant Hand, because it's an over 100 number, so I can use it in combination with 7th Eternity, for example. Obviously it's an Earth monster, so again I can't use this card when I'm waterlocked, but a lot of times I'm not waterlocked, so I can use this card in many situations. Then I use number 4 Stealth Kraken. Definitely a really good card for this deck, because it makes all of the face of monsters on the field become water. So obviously I mentioned, of course, I mentioned the Kozan match before. So of course this card is really, really good with that card. And also you can destroy 1 water monster of 1 controls, and then inflict half the attack as damage. So definitely really good. The other effect is not relevant because I'm not using any Stealth Kraken spawns. But all around, of course, really amazing card for this deck. Then use 1 Barian Shark Lancer. I think still is pretty good card, especially for Exceed Remora combos and stuff like that. And it can be, of course, still a disruption in your opponent's turn. Then of course I used the classic 2 Barian Sharks. Obviously summon my toads from my extra deck pretty much, so to get negates. Still, of course, really good, but of course if a toad gets banned, yeah, this card won't be as useful anymore in this deck. And for that matter, this deck becomes a lot weaker as well. And of course I used these toads as well. Totally awesome, or as I like to call it, totally broken. And I think it still is broken, especially if a sprite coming out soon. So I don't think I really need to explain this card. And finally, the last Execution Monster and last card in the deck is one Divine Arsenal ASUS Sky Thunder. Obviously, I can't use this card when I'm waterlogged, but in a lot of cases I can actually summon this card and can be very useful in many situations. So that was the deck, and now I'm going to show you one of the combos in this deck as well. So now let's show you one of the main combos in this deck. But this combo is a little bit risky in terms of like you can get Nibiru, I guess. It's only a 2-card combo, so basically you need Barian Shark or Barian Princess, of course, and a Barian Shark. So this can be either or, because this can get the Barian Shark. So put this back to the top of the deck. But in the right, of course, you need these two. You can do the safer combo if you don't want to get Nibiru, just summon Barian Shark and Nash Knight. But this combo is a little bit better if you want just more disruptions and you want to risk Nibiru pretty much. And definitely is a pretty hard choice all of the time, but sometimes you definitely need those disruptions. So what you're going to do is you're going to normal summon Barian Shark and then activate effect and summon out. Specifically you need to have Lantern Shark in the deck. If you throw it in hand, it's going to be in trouble. Then, since of course this can be read as level 5s, they can exist someone into Barian Shark Lancer. Then we use a Barian Shark and then spell summon it. And then you can search out for another monster. And then you can search out Exceed Remora. Then you're going to activate Exceed Remora, detaching 2 Exceed materials from Barian Shark Lancer. And summoning Exceed Remora, then activates the Exceed Remora's effect, summoning out back your Lantern Shark and Barian Shark. Then you're going to exceed summon using any of these monsters to go into Barian Shark. Detaching material, doesn't really matter. Then summon your Toad to negate, and then this can be treated as a level 4 when used for a normal monster. So you can, and since obviously you can't go into rank 5 because the effects of Barian Shark are negated when summoned with Exceed Remora. So I'm going to exceed someone into your Stealth Kraken. So what this combo gives you is 3 disruptions with just 2 cards. So of course you have your Toad, which can negate anything and also steal something as well, potentially. Stealth Kraken, which makes everything water and also can of course destroy your opponent's monster and inflicts damage as well. And Barian Shark doesn't attach anything from any of your Exceed monsters to destroy one monster your opponent controls. Because of course Stealth Kraken doesn't really need the Exceed material you can just detach from this monster. And of course if your Barian Shark supports or survives, you can then summon Toad again, for example. So all around is still definitely a very good combo for this deck. Obviously there are so many different combinations, of things you can do in this deck. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile, and definitely consider playing this in a tournament in the future. So we'll see. So for now, goodbye and omakios out.